You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 196, recorded on August 10th, 2014, brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios in association with NoobReview.com. Welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for quarter-munching fun. And I am your duel master. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And I think I deserve a medal for being able to avoid Last of Us spoilers for a whole year. Well, at least for the main campaign. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingson.
I'm happy I've been able to avoid everything as well.
You don't even have a Sony system.
But I haven't spoiled it for myself for when I eventually do get to play that game.
Well, this is true. Speaking of which, there was some Walmart in some podunk area of Ohio that had a pallet of the 12 gig PS3s that they were clearing out for $100.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty damn good.
Well, problem is the 12 gig PS3s, not only do they not have the hard drive,
well, I mean, yeah, but still.
But they also do not have the enclosure that you need to put the hard drive in for the PS3 to recognize it.
Why wouldn't it have that?
I don't know. That's because I have no idea why it didn't. I guess if that enclosure was in there without a hard drive in it, the PS3 would... Bleh, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the reason why, but the only place I knew of that sold the official hard drive add-on was Best Buy. It specifically says includes enclosure. And it's got all kinds of pictures and everything on it, and I've heard stories from people on CAG having to upgrade. And it used to be that you could buy the enclosure separately from Sony directly, but you can no longer do that. So you either have to buy the official Sony add-on at Best Buy. I literally don't know any other store that sells it. Or you have to buy a third-party enclosure from Amazon. And that's not as good because a lot of times they don't have enough screws and they're shoddy. I saw one person on CAG complain that it scratched up the insides of his PS3 because it wasn't cut properly. You know, the metal wasn't the right size. And
Yeah, it's always a gamble when you're taking some third-party stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like the Last of Us bundle for PS3 is still a thing. So, although we'll get into it later in the show, it's so good on PS4. And I did play enough of it on PS3 that I can tell the differences.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm not an expert. I am horrible when it comes to graphics, but I can see the difference. I have seen the difference!
You saw the sign, and it opened up your eyes?
It wasn't the first time I'd seen the difference. The first time I'd seen the difference was when I finally watched Hunger Games Part 2 at my cousin's place.
You didn't catch that, did you?
The
reference I made?
No.
Ah, damn it. Alright, continue.
Well, nothing. Also, speaking of duels, I have yet to watch it, but I did make kind of a shameful purchase.
What did you do?
I bought the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie on DVD.
Is that the one with all three of the heroes?
Yeah.
Or four of the heroes or whatever?
Well, it's three. It's the first three. It was...
right. Okay. Yeah. Because I've been playing Millennium Duels so much, I have this question, and I know you can't answer it because I know you haven't played I know you haven't done anything with Zexal and stuff, so I know you won't know the answer to it. But why do they all have scouters from from Dragon Ball Z on their faces.
I don't know. I think, well,
It makes no
I
sense.
can find out for you because Zexal is on Hulu Plus, at least like the first season of it, I do believe.
My guess would probably be somewhere in the first or second episode they would tell you why they have the stupid things on their faces.
Well, I will do some Hulu scouting for you and see if I can get you an answer.
Okay.
But not
Well,
now.
thank you. Well, yeah, obviously not now, because we're talking about games. We're not talking about anime. Although if you had watched an anime that you really, really wanted to discuss, I might be willing to be persuaded to talk about it.
No, because I haven't watched Persona in a while.
Well, yeah.
And
I was mostly referring to stuff that maybe I had seen, but yeah, alright. Anyway, so video games.
you know,
How about we talk about all the stuff that we've been playing over the past 2 weeks?
it sounds like a plan.
Alright, let's get into our now playing. Alright, what have you been playing?
All right, well, we'll leave Last of Us for last. Just because that's the one I've played the most, and we'll get rid of everything else first. I got the first chapter of the Hearthstone expansion on the first week while it was free.
Yes, what'd you think of it?
It's fine. I suck at I can't even get past the third normal boss, the spider. Like I got
Yeah,
through,
no. She's tough. Definitely, she's tough.
yeah, I mean, let alone the class, because you have to get past them normal to unlock the class duels, and then the super hard. Hey,
The heroic mode.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, jeez. You do not know how many times I had to replay those 3 bosses just to even get close to beating them in heroic mode. It was not easy.
yeah, that's.
But I'll give you one hint. A paladin deck does pretty well, especially against Myexna.
Okay.
Or was it Myexna? Or was it was the third one? It was whoever the third one was.
The spider.
Yeah, the actual spider, yeah.
Yeah.
The second I think Myexna or no, that's Grand Widow Fairlina. It's the second one I'm thinking of. So it is my next for the third one. Yeah. All right. So many names, I can't keep them all straight.
Right.
There's so many card names just floating through my brain, just from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, see, I just know the magic ones. Like, I don't know any of the others by heart. I know the magic ones by heart because I did watch almost all of the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
a big show,
I did something weird about a couple days ago, and I looked up the Magic 2015 set breakdowns for some of the more rare cards.
Nissa,
Yeah.
huh?
Some pretty good cards.
Yep, Nissa is the big money rare. Everything else is kind of less. I mean, Johnny and there are bombs for limited, but in terms of like value, the planeswalkers all have varying values. Nissa's the bomb one.
I was just talking about their powers and what they did.
Yeah, there's the 2/1 flyer that is always going to be a $5 to $10 rare because it just says FU to every modern and legacy combo deck.
I don't remember which one that is,
That's
though.
the Hushwing Griff, or whatever. That's roughly what his name is.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, it's Hearthstone. Just, man, those bosses, yeah, they really do take some serious deck building to specifically get past them.
Yeah, and because I've literally not unlocked any. Obviously the mage deck, but literally other than that, I think I've only played like one other class, even some, and the other 7 I haven't even touched. So Yeah, I would have
Um,
to dedicate a lot of time to build up.
no, not really. The easiest way to get past Myexna is a rush deck, so that way she can't bounce all your cards back to your hand. And even when she does, she's only bouncing one of them. That or well, no, she bounces. Does she bounce one or two? I don't remember.
One.
Yeah, that's right. The heroic version bounces two for 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets real rough on that one. It's like, God damn it! I put down 3. 2 of them went back to my hand. God damn it! Yeah,
So
you want to use charge characters and as many low cost characters as you can. A good choice for that would be a Morlock Rush.
yeah,
A Murloc Rush.
yeah.
Morlock. What am I thinking of? Versus? Oh, jeez.
But anyway, so even if you have any interest in Hearthstone at all, even if it's just to you want to make sure you've run the update, and so you can, because I don't know if you can still get the first chapter for free. I guess you can, but
It came out.
it came out
I
a couple
want
weeks ago.
I want to say just over 3 weeks ago. So I think this last couple days before it hits week 5, I want to say, is when the freebie dries up.
Yeah.
So I want to say by the time you're hearing this episode, most likely it'll be up.
Okay, so never mind then. So, but yeah, because for us, if we ever want to get everything, it'll be $20
Yeah.
versus for somebody.
Or 700 gold per wing, and that's a lot of gold.
Yeah, I can barely get 100, so no way I'm saving up 700.
Wait, really?
Well,
How come you're having so much trouble getting gold?
because the 2 times I tried the arena, I sucked both times, so I just sit there and play the ranked.
Well, yeah. It takes some getting used to figure out how you should build your deck for the arena.
Mm.
Usually you want to focus on the higher level creatures for the most part, just because the arena can go fairly long with most of the decks. So you want to kind of focus on the mid to high level range. But if you can get a good set of draws from the randomizer, you can probably get a good rush deck going. It's just not easy.
Yeah, but I have no interest in and I mean, really,
Right, yeah.
with as much magic. Huh?
But with all the quests that they give you on a daily basis, I would think you'd be able to get at least a little bit of gold from those.
Well, from the initial launch, I guess I'll just need to abandon the 3 quests because they're all like, oh, we'll get gold for playing the priest and the rogue and this and that, and I still have those quests on. I guess I could just abandon them so I can.
Yeah, I would click the X mark in the corner, and I would do it after midnight East Coast time. I would do it like around 1 a.m. Eastern time, because then you'll be able to actually select constantly through those quests to tell it, no, I don't want that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Ooh, that's the one I want. You'll be able to click it multiple times instead of just the once. So that'll let you get to something like, oh, just win 3 times. Or win 7 times. Or win 5 times with your mage.
Right.
And those would probably be way more appropriate for you. Or play like 20 minions that are 1 or less, or 3 or less. Or play 20 minions that are 5 or higher. Yeah. So that's the little trick for cheesing it just a little bit to get the higher level gold amount quests.
Okay, but like I said, I didn't play it much. I just played it a couple of times. I wanted to make sure I got the 1 chapter while it was free. So I literally haven't played it almost since we last recorded. I mean, I played it just a little bit.
Mm.
right after because that was when the chapter came out, and I haven't played it since.
Yeah.
So, moving on to 360, I did put a little bit more time into the Bioshock Infinite DLC. I got through part one of, is it Beneath the Waves or
Burial at Sea,
Burial at
I want
Sea?
to say.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I got through part one, and I'm like halfway or so through part two,
Okay.
and Last of Us came out, and I just didn't get it finished. And
Yeah.
but yeah, that first part ends on kind of a cliffhanger or kind of an interesting end, and then
Yeah. Unfortunately, I kind of know where that went,
the
just because somebody said it out loud, and I don't remember where, but they spoiled it for me.
yeah, and then the second part, it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of depressing with
Yeah.
what happens, but I'm halfway through that, so
Yeah, once that DLC actually goes on sale, for real on sale, like half price on sale instead of just like barely a quarter off, I'll probably get it right away.
I put a little bit time into multiplayer for Magic 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I finally won a few matches. I played games that weren't White Weenie, and
That's good.
I won a few, but it's been a while since I played, but
Yeah.
I did play a few, so. Moving on to PS3, I did get through Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 4, a little bit
Yeah.
after we recorded.
Yeah, I got through the PC version of it as well. Damn.
Yeah.
Some messed up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Did you? You probably didn't notice, because it has been a while since episode 3 came out. One of the little preview things didn't actually happen. I thought it was weird.
No.
It involved Kenny.
Oh, because in the trailer,
Yeah, he does that, but he didn't do that in the episode, which was weird.
yeah,
I wonder why.
I guess they just want.
Maybe there was just extra gross out factor. I don't know.
Well, the trailer implied they didn't actually show it. They just showed her reaction to it. Maybe it was just a red
Yeah.
herring thing that they.
Maybe, but why would you bother showing that? I don't know.
Well, maybe it was in there at one point and then they cut it, but they just didn't cut it out of the trailer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about it unless it becomes a trend.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happened, I think, once in Wolf Among Us, between, I want to say, episode 2 and 3?
Okay.
Or was it 1 and 2? No, it was 2 and 3. But, yeah. So, anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
It was an interesting direction for that one. Not entirely sure how they're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm not for sure either, because I mean, if you know, I mean, there's no trailer at all for the
For the end of this one, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that's because of how the episode ended. It's like, well, I mean, that would kind of completely spoil everything for what happened at the end. It's like, oh,
Right.
okay, that everything's okay now because everything is okay with these people, as opposed to what happens at the end of that episode, and like, yeah, kind of a big problem. Did you notice a little inconsistency, or did you not steal from somebody?
Yeah, no, I did not steal from somebody. Well,
Yeah. I chose not to steal either, and got the same thing. And I was
well,
like, you do realize I didn't steal from you, right?
well, no, but there is. I chose a voice option and said, "Well, I didn't do it. X did."
Yeah, I chose the same option.
Yeah.
But
I guess because
apparently giving everything back was still akin to stealing. I don't know. Just a little inconsistency.
Right.
But, yeah, there's really not much else to say without going heavy into spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess I'm, just waiting around to see when they put out episode 5.
I would imagine it is going to be late August,
Yeah.
maybe early September.
I hope we don't have to wait till September, though. I really don't.
Well, see, here is the thing. I screwed up. We talked about this last episode. I screwed up my knowledge of the weeks and everything. September 1st is actually Labor Day. Labor Day is the first Monday of September, and it just so happens this is a crazy August where the 31st falls on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So literally there are no games that week for whatever reason. I mean, retail-wise. Because
during the last week or the first week?
The first week of September.
Okay.
That starts on the 30th. There's the 31st of August, then there's the 1st of September, which is Labor Day, and on. There is nothing that week. The previous week is Infamous Last Light and Metro Redux and Madden. And then the week after that is obviously Destiny and NHL. So if I was Telltale, I would either... We know it's not this coming week as we're recording because we would have heard about it by now. Yeah. If I was going to put it out, I'd either put it out next week. And granted, you'd be up against Diablo and Tales of Xillia too, but... Or I'd wait and put it out that first week of September when nothing's there.
Yeah, I guess. I just would have hoped it wouldn't take that long for them to get it out.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just very interesting. Love to do a end game on this one when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, kind of need to...
Just because it's so divisive from the first season. The first season was great. And then the second season started off kind of mediocre.
Well...
And then the endings for episode 3 and episode 4 really punch you in the gut.
Right. Well, my big problem is they had the 400 days thing, and it was like, oh, this is going to be your introduction to season 2, and...
Which, yeah, that would have been cool and interesting. It's like, okay, well, here's a little bit of backstory, here's maybe some characters you're actually going to follow.
Do you follow, or...
And I barely remember seeing any of them throughout the entire season so far.
Yeah.
I think, actually, yeah, there was only just the one girl, and that was it. So, kind of not really worth it.
Yeah, so that's been my big thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so moving on. Pretty cool PlayStation Plus freebie came out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Dragon's Crown for PS3 and Vita. Now, I already own the Vita cart, but now I have the game on PS3.
Oh, there you go.
You know that game's only a gig?
Yeah, I could imagine, yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of surprising. So yeah, since it was so small, this is a PlayStation Plus game I can actually download.
Yeah.
And
wait, do you have a really limited amount of space on your drive, or?
No, it's just size, like...
Okay.
I am down to...
Internet speed-wise, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, I never have... I've got a 500 gig hard drive to swap out. I bought it last fall, and I still haven't done it.
You might want to try the drive out just to make sure it works.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to swap it at some point. I might have my local gaming store do it and pay him to do it, but I got to get everything backed up first. But
yeah, I would do it soon just because you're probably not going to have any luck returning it if it is a dud.
Well, yeah, I know. Trust me, I already went through that with the Zune, so
Yeah.
I know. But anyway, so I did download Dragon's Crown. I uploaded my file to the cloud on Vita and downloaded it on the PS3, and I played it a little bit just to be like, okay, sure.
So it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is very nice on a big screen in high def. It's still nice on the Vita, especially the first gen Vita, but it's nicer on a high def TV. The only difference is it is not. I do like the Vita's control better. I'm able to use the magic runes better on Vita than I am on the PS3, but bigger screen.
Well, what's the difference?
The difference is on the Vita, I can just tap the screen to tap the runes. Whereas on PS3, you have to use the right analog stick to move the cursor onto the rune, and then you have to click it to click.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas on the Vita, you just touch it. Same thing with the treasure chests. On Vita, you just touch the screen, and your little rogue guy goes and opens it. Whereas
I forgot about that.
Yeah. PS3, you gotta move the analog stick over to it, and then click the analog stick in for him to go do it. So.
All right. Yeah, that was weird that they did the control scheme like that.
Well, I mean, it was across. That's how they had to do it to, make it, cross-play, so...
Well, they didn't have to. They could have done it a little differently.
Well, every other button's being used for something else, so...
Yeah, well... They probably could have thought of something.
Well, I don't know, but... Yeah, so now I have Dragon's Crown on PS3, so... I've always been able to play it on Vita with others, but now if you want to play it on PS3, just message me and we can play it. I'm halfway through the campaign the first time. I have to find the 9 runes to be able to summon the dragon that you have to kill.
Yeah.
And that's the first playthrough, but it's been so long I forgot what you do to get the runes, so I randomly went to one of the levels, and I didn't get a rune or anything, and I was like, I was just playing it just to test it out on PS3, so I was like, this is on my hard drive, I'll pick it up some other time.
I think there's, different story paths that take you to them.
Yeah, but the problem is
remember.
The level that I got to, Story Path A, was my level, Story Path B was 11 levels above me. So it was like, yep, I can't do Path B.
Yep. That would put a damper on it.
Alright, so the last thing I played on PS3 was I rented Diablo 3.
Okay.
And
this is the original version?
This is the original console version. The reason I did that is Blizzard came out and explained the process of importing your save into the Ultimate Evil Edition, and they've just recently put out an update to the console versions of Diablo. Because I had started mine on PS3, the update was waiting for me. It downloaded automatically because of Plus. But same thing on 360. Hopefully you have not gotten rid of your game yet, because you have to have the latest update. You have to have a Battle.net account. You have to link your PSN or Xbox Live to Battle.net so that you can upload the save. And then once that save is uploaded, for really the first time ever in a game without, crazy without hacking, a 360 save on the PC or something, the first officially supported, take that save cross-company. We don't care. So
that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So you want to go from 360 to PS4? I mean, obviously, the one of the reasons I got it on Diablo on PS3 was because I figured, well, it's going to be a cross-save thing, and every other time this has happened, you go from PS3 to PS4 or 360 to Xbox One.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to get Diablo on PS3. and plus it had the extra content.
Right. Yeah.
But now, come to find out later, you can take that 360 save and go to PS4. If for some reason you had a PS3 save and wanted to go to Xbox One, which seems a little weird, but yeah, sure, that can be done. You just can't take it to PC. PC is its own little world.
Yeah.
The only restriction is the PS3 specific content, all the weapons and stuff that were themed after Sony stuff. That stuff won't transfer cross-platform. Cross. That stuff won't go onto an Xbox save of either one. If you go from PS3 to PS4, you're okay.
Okay.
So any of you out there that had it on old gen and are looking to play it again on new gen, you need to make sure that if you've already gotten rid of your game, that somehow you find a copy of that game long enough for you to sign in and push the save to the... And it's not the PlayStation Cloud, it's not the Xbox, it's a specific one. Like when you go into the options in the title screen of Diablo 3, there'll be a thing like upload save. You have to do it in Diablo. This is not... And that's why...
Well, I mean, yeah, you're connecting to the Battle.net servers.
Yes.
So you'd have to, yeah.
Yeah, this is how you're able to take it across to a different platform owner. This is how you're able to do it from Xbox to PlayStation or whatever. So, just a word of warning out there for those of you that are like, oh, I beat Diablo 3, let's start Ultimate Evil. Hey, where's my save? Now, if you're going 360 to 360, I think you still even have to do it. I think you still have to. I'm not 100% for sure on that. And, Steven, you may end up being the test case for it.
Why?
So I imagine
I don't have it on 360. I have it on PC.
Oh, I thought you got the console. Oh, I guess that was Scott. That was Scott.
Yeah, no, I never got it on 360.
Okay, well, I guess Scott will be the test case, so make sure he knows that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm sure he'll know after he listens to this episode.
Yeah. All right, so I thought my rental had ended, but apparently I was able to rent it again, and I'm probably going to put some time into it this week to try to get out of Act 1 at least, because the main game that I'm playing, at least the single-player stuff, I'm almost completely done. I am done with the main story, and I'm halfway through its DLC episode, and of course that is The Last of Us Remastered on PS4.
Yeah, I really want to play that game so much.
Oh my gosh. So, for those that don't remember, I got through about a quarter of the game before on PS3 last year, and then various things, falling down the Fire Emblem hole, getting a Vita and falling down the Persona hole the first time, things of that nature, and then, falling into Madden Ultimate Team, and then just getting ready for, next gen. So, so I just didn't get through a lot of Last of Us. I mean, I bought the Season Pass day one and all this other stuff, but I just, it just kind of sat there. Kind of irks me now that GameStop, the week before the game came out, is like, oh, we're going to do an awesome trade-up promotion, when I could have kept my collector's edition. Now, granted, I sold it for pretty good coin, but I could have kept my collector's edition for PS3 and just traded the disc only, but did not know that was going to be a thing. So, oh well. If I find another Steelbook Last of Us, it's going to be mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start scouting GameStops in St. Louis. They're like, who's got Steelbook PS3? Because I know people trade them in, because I've seen them. I've seen them.
I believe you.
Somebody traded in the PS4 collector's edition of Watch Dogs. kept the statue, but trade in the case and the soundtrack and the game. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, because why would they accept the statue?
Well, they wouldn't accept the statue, but the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, if they had traded in the statue, the employees would have been like, sure, you can trade it in, sure, and they would have taken it home. But that didn't happen. If you're going to sell a collector's edition of a game like that, just sell it on Amazon. You make big money. Yes, you lose the statue, but oh well.
Or eBay.
Yeah, or eBay. I prefer Amazon, but yeah, either way. Alright, anyway, so the point I'm getting at, this long-winded thing, was I played enough of it on PS3. And my eyes have never been the best at graphics. Like, that's always been kind of my weakest thing. Like, I can't sit there normally and be like, oh, I'm such a graphics snob. Oh, this doesn't look good. Or this looks pretty good, but oh, you need some more shaders over here.
Yeah, you're not sitting there counting frames.
Right. Exactly. But oh my gosh, can I tell a difference from my memory of the PS3 version versus the PS4? I am now in the 1080p 60 frame a second camp. Let's go, PS4. We're on the train. Choo choo! Even though I only have a 32-inch TV, I could tell the difference. And now I see the 40-inch TVs dropping to close to the price I paid for this 32-inch one a couple years ago. I'm like, if I had a 40-inch TV, I could really tell the difference. I can even tell the difference a little bit now on 32-inch, but I am all aboard the train. Now, I am not going to sue Sony because the multiplayer may not be, but the single player, oh my gosh, I have seen the light. Choo-choo, hype train, let's go.
Okay. Been drinking that Kool-Aid, huh?
Actually, yes, I just got done with my last 2 Kool-Aid bursts before we recorded the show.
I was being figurative, but wow, okay.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to be funny as well. But yeah, these are pretty nice. These are $6 for $1. And they're easier than making Kool-Aid normally.
Well, everything is easier than making Kool-Aid normally because you have to mix it up correctly.
Right. Alright, so anyway. So, yeah, so the gameplay is so, and the visual experience is so improved having the 1080p and the graphics. I mean, it's kind of sad, and I need to listen to Podcast Beyond, and you and I may get into arguments because barring something like Dragon Age just being like insane or Far Cry, somebody may make a fight for this to be the game of the year. It's up there right now. I mean, it's like this and South Park right now.
Let's wait and see what else comes out.
Well, right, but I mean, to me, this and South Park are the 2 best games to come out this year, and this is a remastered Super HD update, and that kind of says something.
Well, that's kind of why I would say let's wait and see what else comes out, because it is just a re-release.
Well, right, but I mean, it does make a visual difference.
I mean, yeah, but it's a re-release, so let's go easy on the Game of the Year talk right now.
Well, I'm just, like I said, I mean, Podcast Beyond on IGN was the first to bring it up, so...
I mean, it was a good game. I extolled some virtues for it last year.
Yeah, it's just,
It's
just, I mean, I think rightfully so. It's not like I'm saying, oh, well, I wish, I'm glad we picked Fire Emblem, because that was an awesome game, and that is the game that got me to get a 3DS. That is what reintroduced me into, because if I don't get Fire Emblem, or if Fire Emblem doesn't come out, I don't want a 3DS, and then I don't get a Wii U. So Fire Emblem has been my reintroduction into the Nintendo into Nintendo
ecosystem.
ecosystem. And
It's a weird ecosystem. Yes, it
yeah,
really is.
but that game is awesome, and I just didn't feel comfortable giving Game of the Year to a game I hadn't finished. I mean, we gave it
Yeah.
PS3 Game of the Year. It was probably our number 3 pick, I think. It was our number 2 or 3. I mean, XCOM was up there. But
Yeah, I want to. Wasn't XCOM like a runner-up or
yeah,
something?
I think we were like Enemy Within runner-up, and then Last of Us in third. But I mean, just and what they do with the game, and I mean, obviously other places have talked about this before, but the way the music is, like the way the music crescendos up as you're about to be spotted. The AI of the enemies is pretty good, although at times you can tell that at least with the humans, there are specific zones that they will not leave until you encroach into them.
Yeah.
That's especially apparent in the very last level more than anything.
All right.
But just the storytelling of that game with all the ancillary stuff, like, I mean, you could just go straight through and not find any of the stuff, not pay attention to anything on the walls, and still have a pretty good experience. But if you start searching around for all the letters, all the tape recorders, you start, reading the writing on the walls and all this stuff, and the voice performances, and the twists the game takes, especially at the very end, and I was able to stay unspoiled for the very end of the game.
Yeah, unlike Burial at Sea, I still don't know what happens in this game.
Yeah. And I will, respect everybody out there. I mean, I'll talk privately with somebody, but
Yeah, not me, because I still don't want to know.
oh, right, exactly. But I mean, just everything in this game, every aspect of the game in the single player is just awesome. I think the combat's great. Man, I suck when it comes to clickers. I really hate the clickers.
I think most people do, actually. They're really tough.
Yeah.
Until you get later in the game.
Yeah, I need to. I probably at some point will go through on Easy Plus to get all the to just do a collectible run and get those trophies, because yeah, this game is still, they've made the trophies easier. They're not quite, but this is not you're not going to get just a ton of trophies. Like, the single player trophies in this game are still pretty much beat it on every difficulty level with plus. Now, the difficulties do stack, of course, and find every single artifact, find every single Firefly plume, find all the comics,
Yeah.
buy every upgrade for Joel, or construct every weapon upgrade. There's a lot of this, open every locked door. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of, there's a lot of do everything of this particular thing, and that's where a lot of the trophies are in the core game. Now, the DLC trophies for like the multiplayer maps, those have been made much easier to get, because now it is. There were some where it was like, okay, get this many downs and or revives on these particular maps, but there used to be a death, like you'd have to do all that and die fewer than 5 times, or die fewer than 3 or whatever. But now it's just like, yeah, just get 5 downs / revives on these maps. So they have made the multiplayer trophies easier to get.
Yeah, okay.
And then, so I have played the multiplayer, and the multiplayer, the way it's structured is really neat. I don't remember how much I talked about this when I got the game on PS3 last year, but you have 2 different campaigns. You choose either Firefly or Hunter. And each match is 1 day of a week, and you have to last 12 weeks. And as you play, as long as you're successful at it, you add more and more survivors to kind of this camp that you have to continue to do better and better in the matches so that you get enough supplies so that all of the people, that you've been recruited into your little clan don't get sick or hungry and or die.
Yeah.
And if you allow the game to access your Facebook, all those people end up being your Facebook friends.
Yeah, that's the part that I thought was a little weird and interesting all at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's really cool.
Well, I said weird and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a little of both.
Yeah. And I mean, there's three gameplay modes. There is a old style SOCOM, Counter-Strike, wherever you want to call it, where it's 4v4 and you have 1 life.
Yeah, that's your standard. You only get 1 life. You respawn beginning of round stuff.
Yeah, and it's like you have to win like best out of 12 rounds. First 1 to 6 round wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how that goes. But that's kind of like the one that's used the least. The most popular one is the supply raid, where it's 4v4, and each team has a pool of respawns. And you just whittle away until you kill the other team and they run out of respawns.
Yeah, that's basically TDM.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of... Yeah,
I mean, that's your standard, okay, you get a little bit of a mix from the campaign kind of stuff, but then you're also going pretty much just kill everybody else.
There's also a mode where it's kind of capture the flag, except neither team knows where their own flag or the enemy's flag is at the start.
Yeah, I saw this one just recently.
Yeah, so what happens is once you down an enemy, if you can get to them safely, you'll want to get up to them and hit triangle, which normally is execute. But in this mode, you will interrogate them for information, and you have to do this 5 or 6 times, and then you'll find out where the opposing lockbox is. And then you have to go and unlock the lockbox to win the match. And the same thing is happening, against you. If your team gets interrogated 6 times, then you have to defend yours, because everybody will know where yours is.
Yeah, that's kind of why you want to stick in a group in that mode.
Right, and even supply raids the same. All the modes you want to stick together, because I mean
Well, I mean, in supply mode, you could probably get away with just splitting up into teams of 2.
Well, yeah.
But in the interrogation lockbox one, you're gonna want to stick in a bigger group of 4.
Yeah. So all those modes are really good. I mean, they incorporate the mechanics for crafting items, like you will find your alcohol and blades and stuff like that, and you're able to craft the same smoke bombs and health packs and stuff as the single player, and you will need those, especially like the bombs and the Molotovs, to be successful in the multiplayer. And you're also finding the same parts, and you also get parts if you retrieve them from the enemies you kill. And instead of upgrading your weapons, those are a currency. They're still upgrading weapons and buying armor, but that's a currency that you spend within the round. And then the game has a system where, I guess, what takes place of the medicines and stuff that normally would upgrade Joel, depending on how much you collect, how well you do, the total amount of parts that you collect at the end of each round will be turned into what's normally the supplements, and that is what you have to have. Each round it'll tell you, well, you need the minimum of this much to keep your clan at its current health.
Okay.
And like I said, as you progress through the weeks, and every match is 1 day of a week, you'll get more and more people in your clan, and you'll need more and more items to keep everyone healthy.
Right. All right.
And then there is a trophy. I mean, eventually you could die and have to restart. Eventually, I believe you can. Eventually, there is a trophy for completing both the Firefly and the Hunter journeys. So if you can get through all 12 weeks, that's a trophy, and then you can start over as a Hunter. I started as a Firefly.
What's the difference?
Just not much. Just skins and...
Just different names?
Well, I mean, you don't even have character names, really. It's just...
for the sides.
Yeah.
It's just the two factions.
Yeah, it's the two human factions represented in the game.
Okay. All right.
So I'm on the second week, I think like the second day or so. There were a lot of issues with multiplayer matchmaking. They released a patch on Friday to fix that. I haven't played multiplayer because I've been busy beat the single player, and then I've been trying to beat Left Behind as well.
Yeah.
Because the big revelation that comes out of Left Behind, I did get spoiled on by accident. So I know the big revelation from Left Behind.
I might know. So that kind of is bad that I might know the spoiler for that one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not 100% sure that I remember hearing it. So that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Alright.
But, yeah, I mean, this game, it's selling like hotcakes. Like, my GameStop has had problems keeping it in stock. I mean, they've probably sold over 100 copies of it in 2 weeks. The Walmarts and Targets I've been around to have had problems keeping it in stock. So, I mean, it's selling like hotcakes. I mean, this is... If you have a Sony system, this is a must-buy. Whether it's PS3 or PS4, this is a must-buy. A lot of the multiplayer DLC, obviously the maps are included on Remastered for free, as is Left Behind, but all of the cosmetic or most of, I should say, the cosmetic and perk packs that were included in the Season Pass on PS3 and otherwise are available separately for a charge. All those carry over to PS4. Actually, when the game first came out, I had to go back on my PS3 and actually purchase every single one so that they would show up as purchased on the PS4 version.
Okay.
But there are two packs that they've introduced separately. There is a new outfit pack that wasn't originally in the PS3 Season Pass, and then there is a new taunt pack.
Okay.
Yeah. So
taunt pack?
Yeah. So, like, there's the Antonio Banderas thing, that became the meme for PS4, where he's, doing the kiss with the hand thing.
But it is literally just taunts?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a $3 pack with 4 taunts in it.
That seems a little expensive.
They're like $1 each separately, so...
That seems a little expensive in the first place. And then you combine them into a pack, and it's still expensive.
But it's optional, so...
Yeah.
But,
I would hope, because...
So it's just something to be wary of. If you get Remastered and you bought the Season Pass on PS3, just make sure you've redeemed all those outfits and all those extra perks and stuff, and you'll have them all unlocked on the PS4 version.
Alright.
I am loving Last of Us Remastered. It's so awesome. I mean, all the little touches in that game, and then the voice acting performances and the gameplay and everything, it is just perfect. And if we get to it here, it made me rearrange my top 10 of the generation list.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because one Naughty Dog game had to leave for the new one to come in.
Okay.
Alright, so that is all that I have played. So, Steven, what have you been playing?
Alright, well, we've start off on PC because that's where the two we already talked about were. Talked a little bit about Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 4, which, yeah, crazy. And then we talked a little bit about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. Probably the only thing I'll add is I did something stupid and yet also really good for myself at the same time. I went and bought a bunch of packs after the second quarter of the expansion came out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have, because then I could have afforded the second quarter. But it turns out some of those cards that I actually got were really good. So, I don't know. It was kind of worth it, but kind of not at the same time. I'm still debating whether I should just knuckle up and buy it for 20. I don't know. I mean, because $20 that's a good price for a game I've been playing for as much time as I have put into Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Plus, then I'd continue to be able to use all the gold for packs, as opposed to buying the wings.
Yeah.
So, something for me to think about. But yeah, I finished up the heroic mode bosses, finished up the class-specific challenges. Yeah. God damn, those heroic mode bosses are just insane. They ramp those powers up to beyond broken. Like Myexna, instead of just the one creature she returns to your hand, she returns 2 creatures to your hand for 0 cost, so she'll do it every single turn.
Yep. Which
is just nuts. Oh, that's why you want to have charge creatures for that one. And then Fairlena, the one before that, her power actually puts out 4/4 creatures for, I want to say it's like 1. Or no, she's the one who does the damage to you based on the cards you have in your hand. Yeah. It's damage based on the amount of cards in your hand. So that's another one. I believe it costs like 1 for her to do that move. It's just so crazy. So that one, you want to have the egg cards that you got from the very first boss, or was this from her in the previous tier, the normal boss tier, because then she's very hesitant to use that ability because she doesn't want to give you 4/4 creatures. So those eggs are your saving grace.
Okay.
I don't remember what I did for the first boss, the spider. Yeah, I think I just killed it with one of my normal decks. I don't remember. But, yeah. So, that's kind of what you want to do. I think I used my my paladin deck on the first one. I don't remember, though. So there you go. A few tips for getting through the first boss fights on Heroic. Alright, so now let's go on to some of the repeats and new stuff that I played for 360. Let's start off with the really, really fast stuff. Played a little bit of Borderlands 2, tiny little bit, with Wandering Storms, my cousin. Didn't really do much other than enter all the codes for for getting all those new heads for the pre-sequel characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So entered like, I want to say 3 or half of them so far. So next time he decides he wants to play Borderlands 2, we'll enter whatever else was released since then. And then entered a code for the 5 keys, because 5 keys is a lot and always worth entering. And then proceeded to use 3 of those keys to get some pretty damn awesome level 41 guns. So now we're kind of overpowered for level 41,
Mm-hmm.
and where we're at in the second run through of the story. So that's about all there is to say about that. Still a really good game. Interested to see where the sequel takes me and whether I'm enjoying it or not. Because I'm not entirely sure who I'm going to pick for the sequel.
Yeah,
Just
I
because,
haven't kept track of the characters, and I need to keep track now because that game's going to be what I play through October because there's no Dragon Age. It was, well, I tracked down a code, so I'll get it and download it. And now it's like, well, this is going to kind of be my October game, so.
yeah. Well, yeah. So far I'm leaning a little towards Wilhelm, just because he's kind of a weird mix of offense and defense. So that seems kind of like what my playstyle would be. But I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what Claptrap's skill trees are yet. So
yeah, I need to check out the chicks. Or chick, is there one or two?
No, there's two.
Okay.
There's two. Athena and can't remember her name, but the marshal from the Wild West town in Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I forget her name, but okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. It starts with an N, I want to say. But yeah, I don't remember at the moment.
I'm the same as you. I need to see the skill trees and.
Well, the marshal she's a gunslinger, so high damage, low health, low shielding, very fragile, but deals extreme amounts of damage.
I have enough trouble surviving as is.
Yeah, I think you might want to try Athena. She's pretty defensive, but also very powerful for offense with her skill. She's got that shield that absorbs a bunch of damage that comes in, and then once it's fully charged, you can just throw it. It just bounces between a couple of guys.
That sounded like a plan.
Kind of like Captain America.
Yeah.
And his mighty shield. No?
Yeah, I know you're referring to the 90s movie. I never saw it.
No, I never saw that movie either. I'm just there was
the theme song GBD put it at the end of the CADcast this week.
Yeah.
You didn't see it from that, but
no.
I got what you were meaning from that.
Okay, good.
That
right,
wasn't a silence like I didn't know. That was a roll my eyes silence.
Okay. Well, remember, this is radio, my friend.
Yes, I know. That's
you have to emphasize with actual comments.
Yeah.
I was like, rolling my eyes now.
Yeah. No, sorry.
I forget sometimes too, and just do it by do it for sight gags too as well. I need to remember not to do that from now on. But yeah, that's about all I played of that. Then I played a tiny little bit, well, not a tiny little bit, but a couple days of Might and Magic Clash of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Played through a couple rounds with my cousin Wandering Storms as well. He got 1 or 2 wins, and then I got 1 or 2 wins. So, God, that game is so good, and it remains so good. I wish you'd play it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's one of the 100+ games sitting on my 360 hard drive.
Yeah, it's so good, though.
Dust. Yeah, I know.
It's so good. And then I was playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium Duels, where I finally finished the single-player campaign.
Yay!
For expert mode.
Oh gosh, I haven't even... Ugh.
You do not know how angry I became against Vector, the final boss of the second to last tower for Zexal.
Is this the first time through or the second time through?
The second time through.
Okay, so expert. Okay.
His deck is nuts.
I think that's the one... Well, no, that's Zexal. Okay, there
It's
was a
so
there
ridiculous.
was a 5Ds one that I had trouble getting past, and I was able to finally get past it. And then the rest of 5Ds was pretty simple. But yeah, I haven't even started Zexal the first time. So
Yeah. His deck the second time through is so freaking broken. I
it's
had to
Yu-Gi-Oh.
specific, but I had to specifically put together a bunch of trap cards and magic cards that were just dedicated to screwing him over as much as possible to win. And it took me 2 days to put that deck together.
Oh dear.
Well, that's me playing for like an hour or two at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 days for an hour or two. Maybe a little more than that. Just because I'm sitting there like reading these cards. It's like, okay, what's this do? Alright, what's that do again? Alright, what's this do again? Because there's, a billion freaking Yu-Gi-Oh cards and I have to read through them all. Just to remember what the hell they do. But yeah, finally I can never play against Vector again. Cause screw him.
Yay.
As my eye twitches every time I say his freaking name.
Okay, let's not mention his name then.
Yeah, I don't want to. After I finished up that, I played like 3 online duels. And unfortunately, they didn't learn their lesson from the last game.
Mm-hmm.
You still don't earn any cards in multiplayer.
Mm.
Even in the ranked mode, you get nothing.
Yeah, because you get them in with wins in Magic.
Yep. Every single win.
Yep.
Not in Yu-Gi-Oh!
No.
It's only against the computer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
So
buy
that
them.
sucked. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
buy the decks.
Yeah, which I won't do, because no. But yeah, now I'm trying to slowly creep through playing 30 games and getting 15 ranked wins. I only have 1 ranked win so far and 2 or 3 games under my belt total. So, yeah, it's going to be a while before I finish that game up fully, but I'm so much closer than I was before. And all thanks to my 6 Samurai deck. Good old 6 Samurai.
Yeah, I remember when that card first came out, it just kind of was there, but it became a viable deck later on.
They weren't super great when they came out, just because most of the creatures were kind of low powered. But if you throw in a bunch of warrior specific boost cards,
right,
it gets pretty crazy.
Now, granted, the last time I paid attention to real life Yu-Gi-Oh! That's only because I was playing at a store, that was big into Yu-Gi-Oh! But, like the people working it were also big into Yu-Gi-Oh! This is like 06, 07, and this is the age where Cyber Dragon was a $200 ultra rare or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then right after that store quit quit buying Versus and quit getting the stuff, we had to go somewhere else for the last few months of Versus' life to have somewhere to play. That's when Cyber Dragon got reprinted as a starter deck.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Boy, did the bottom crash out from that card.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good card, but not quite as crazy as it was.
Yeah, it's not a $200.
Oh, not even close now.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
And I say thankfully like I'm actually still playing the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm...
Dads, don't let your kids fall down the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hole. Get them into Pokemon and into Magic. At least if you dump that kind of money into Magic, your decks will last longer.
And some cards will hold their value.
Yes. Unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, which you can turn on a dime and pay from, hundreds to...
Thousands.
Oh, wait, now it's only worth like $10.
Yeah.
Wow. I should have waited like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, there's so many cards that are just so ridiculous in that game now.
All right, I think that's
It
enough.
just makes the online a lot harder because of it.
Right. Yeah, and then all the crazy interactions with the XYZ and the.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, for the longest time, I was using a card that reads, your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack times their level. And every time they put out an XYZ monster, I was like, wait, it's not losing any attack. And I couldn't figure out why. And I think I finally figured out why, because they don't consider the stars on the XYZ monsters levels. They consider those ranks. And if that's the differentiation for that card that I thought was really epically good at the beginning is now almost worthless.
Sounds like it's almost worthless.
Yeah.
Unless that's a bug in the card. I mean,
I hoped and hoped and hoped that it was.
Apparently, you looked up the ruling.
Well, no. It's just I finally noticed when you're searching and sorting through the cards, you can sort them by levels, or you could sort them by rank.
Oh.
And if you sort them by rank, the only ones that show up are the XYZs.
Yep, I guess that's it then.
So I guess that's the reason.
Yep.
Even though that's a really stupid exception.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that I have the most trouble with, because they can come out of nowhere.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Tristan just played at the wrong era. He'd be a Yu-Gi-Oh master if he survived the XYZ era.
Because of all those stupid low-level creatures?
Yes.
Yeah, he probably would have. Just because he would have been throwing down, like, crazy, stupidly powerful one-rank creatures, or two-rank creatures. It's like, okay, I'll trade out my 3 normal rinky-dink monsters for this giant monster that does insane effects whenever I remove a card. Which is why I hate that stupid asshole whose name I will not say again.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so from one card game that infuriated me and then gave me a lot of joy when I finished, to the demo of another one, the demo for the Xbox Live Arcade version of Might and Magic Duel of Champions. Subtitle Forgotten Wars, because it's still the same thing that it was on the PC when it was free to play, and still is. Only now, if you want to play it on Xbox Live, it's $10. And it still has the same free-to-play hooks.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So it's even worse than Magic 2015.
Yeah, it actually is. It's also worse than the free version on the PC. Because why would I pay $10 and then also have to pay for a bunch of gold or boosters from AXP or,
Yeah.
straight up buy the stupid seals just so I could get a bunch of gold and stuff. Oh, I don't know what they were thinking. It's such an inferior version from the PC version just because not only do you have the fact that you have to pay for it and the free-to-play hooks embedded in it, also, it has a bunch of slowdown. And that really gets annoying. So, performance-wise, it performs really bad. So, yeah, don't get the game. It's not worth it. Just play the PC version. You're better off. As long as you can get along with the fact that, the gold economy in the PC version is a little out of whack. Yeah, you're way better off playing the PC version. So just don't bother. Alright, and the game I've spent the most time on per day, per hour of these past 2 weeks was some Titanfall. And I regenerated twice since last time we spoke.
Oh, sheesh.
So I'm now Generation 8. Yep. And since we last spoke, I finally got all the Capture the Flag wins and all the Pilot Hunter wins that I needed to get those modes completed fully. Now I only have 2 achievements left for the retail release version of it before they added a couple of achievements for the brand new maps that came out.
Okay.
And then I can 100% it if I get all the maps. That is, if it stops, not connecting to matches properly.
Oh, so this is why my local
crashing.
This is why my local GameStop has all of a sudden gotten flooded with 360 copies of Titanfall?
Can't say for sure. I don't know if it's just me. But normally, my connection's pretty damn good, even though I'm connecting over wireless. I mean, really damn good. Like, it is very hard pressed for me to find a game where I go below 3 bars on the connection. Hard pressed. But then when it happens and I go down to 1 bar, oh man.
Sure it hasn't.
It never loads.
You sure it hasn't kicked you into like the Asian region or something by accident?
No, every time I boot it up, I check to make sure it's still on the East Coast, and it's still on the East Coast.
Okay.
But randomly, I'll have matches. It's usually the first match that I try to start on these past couple days that I played. It just takes 10 minutes or more to load into a match. And once I'm in the match, it is super laggy and really hard to do anything. And then if that match finishes, it takes like 10 minutes before it decides, okay, maybe I'll load you back to the main menu. Maybe I won't. If I do get back to the main menu and get back in to try and get into another match, everything's fine and dandy. And it connects like normal. Gives me a great connection. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe there's something wrong with the matchmaking lately. I don't know. But then also I had the game crash a third time to the start screen. Randomly. Not sure why. But my guess is after playing it for about 3.5, 4 hours, something gets screwed up in the code, and then it just decides it needs to reset. I don't know. But my system isn't overheating or anything. It's because I can get back into the it's not the live menu. The jewel menu?
Yeah, the guide.
The guide, yeah. God, I forgot what the hell to call it, because the only thing I could come up with was cross menu, but I knew that was PlayStation. So it's like, what the hell do I call it?
Yeah, the guide, yeah.
Yeah, I can still hit the guide jewel and pull that up no matter what I'm doing. Even when it was loading really, really slowly. So I know it's not my system. So something funky about what's going on with the game or something. I don't know. But when it's not doing that, I'm still loving that game so much. Oh, it is so much fun to just run around the walls, jump behind people before they could realize where I am, and then shoot them in the back of the head. Oh, jeez. And then drop my Titan on other Titans, because that's one of my challenges I have to do now. Oh, it's so much fun, that game. Wish more people were playing it. Really do. It's just so good. So, yeah, now I'm trying to finish up getting that last achievement that's worth 25 points, and then I have to finish regenerating all the way up to 10, and that gives me my final 0-point achievement. Mm-hmm. And then I've got my 1,000 out of 1,000 from the retail version of it, and then I have to figure out whether I'm buying the maps or not. I mean, because 3 maps per pack and 3 packs for $10 a piece if you're buying them on their own, or $25 if you're buying the season pass. I don't know if it's worth it. It's hard to tell if it's worth it for me. I mean, I play the game enough that it
But
probably would be a good idea, but
how
I
much
don't
more
know
are you
if...
going to be playing it this fall once
Yeah,
all the
that's the
maps are
thing.
out? Would that
Yeah,
$25 be better spent on something like a Far Cry or something,
yeah,
or a
that's
Dragon
kind of...
Age or
I'm
whatever?
probably Far Cry, just because I'm a little more hyped for Far Cry, and I'm starting to maybe get an itch for Destiny. But
Speak
I'm trying to hold off on that just because I don't know that I want to get it on 360.
right.
Because speaking of Destiny, the last game that I was playing was the Destiny beta back just before it was officially over on the Sunday after that week.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
see, I was busy working that weekend, and including the time on Saturday where the one moon level was unlocked, and
yeah,
it was outside of like the opening two missions. It was all stuff I played in the alpha, so I was like, yeah, I really don't want to do this again.
yeah. No, I can understand why you wouldn't want to play it again, just because it gets real repetitive, just going through the same missions.
Yeah, and I already did that once in the alpha, so and
And guess what? I played through both of them twice. I maxed out 2 characters.
wow, yeah. See, I only
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I only did one. I only did the one. I only did the hunter.
I maxed out my Warlock. Was it Warlock?
Possibly, I don't know.
Oh, I want to say it was Warlock. It's the magic user one.
Yeah,
And the Titan, which was the tank.
yeah.
The Titan I remember because the Titan was the one I was playing at the very end
Hmm.
when I played some multiplayer.
And that character's completely gone.
Yeah, and that sucks because I really loved that gun I was using at the end.
Oh yeah, and I was just used to this because all the alpha stuff got wiped, and beta
It was
stuff
just
never carries over. So
that gun was so good. It was helping me so much in the multiplayer when I was playing the keep all your ranks and levels and perks for multiplayer mode. So yeah, it's standard capture the point and hold the point
yeah,
gameplay, and that was the only one they were really showing off for the multiplayer. But it did look like there was a couple other choices eventually. Just not sure what they're gonna be specifically. I did get the chance to play on the moon mission. It was interesting, but it still played exactly like you were playing on Earth. So there was no moon physics.
yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, unfortunate. I don't know. Maybe they put some kind of like gravity generators all over the moon.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
would be nice if they had an explanation.
Yeah, some sort of
You,
plot
you,
explanation,
you,
like, oh well, the people that built the stations and everything, they decided, well, we need some gravity. Let's
yeah,
put some gravity manipulators or something.
yeah, you land and like gravity, artificial gravity initiated.
Or yeah, something. Anything.
Yeah,
Anything to just wave your hand and say, okay, this is what explains it.
yeah.
But yeah, it played exactly like the stuff on Earth did, except it was on the moon, so it was a little darker and a little more gray instead of brown.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence whether I'm definitely getting it or not. But if I do get it, I don't know that I would want to get it for 360 because there was a bunch of slowdown here and there.
Yeah.
And it was hard to tell if that was the servers not being able to keep up at the time or if it was the game itself chugging to try and keep up with the visuals. I don't know.
I think the game, you don't have. I experienced no chugging whatsoever on my crappy connection on PS4. So I'm leaning toward game performance.
Yeah. And then the load times when you're waiting to get into missions were just super long. I don't know if I would want to go through those load times constantly, even though it was installed to the hard drive, because you had to download the beta straight from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I was told by, I think Thorban told me
Yeah, Thor. Yeah,
that the load times were a little better on PS4.
yeah, because me and him both had it on PS4. Yeah.
But I can't test that, so I have no idea.
Yeah. That's just a game. I mean, very similar to Watch Dogs. I mean, I've heard a lot. The PS3 version is horrible of Watch Dogs. The 360 is okay, but you see the 360 version, and then you look at try either the Xbox One or PS4 versions, and it's a world of difference.
Yeah.
Same thing, like I said, with Assassin's Creed last year. So, Assassin's Creed 4, with the old gen versus the new gen. So, I think Destiny would be better served for you for when you decide to
invest in a next gen.
Yeah.
Or current gen, as it now is. Because technically it's current gen, because they're all released.
Yeah, I like new gen, old gen. And some other people have liked my explanation of that, because so many things are cross. So, apparently...
Well, yeah, I mean, cross just explains, okay, it's both generations.
Right.
The new generation that it is currently, and last gen.
I don't know. Some people like my description, new gen, old gen. So
I mean, it works. It gets the point across, essentially, as long as no one is confused. Like, well, what's last gen?
Old.
Old. Sorry. What's old gen?
360 PS3.
And you and I would know that because we're crazy about games.
Yeah.
But to everyone else who doesn't, play games a lot,
right?
Maybe that wouldn't come across. So I don't know.
Speaking of old gen, how about something that IGN a couple months ago did to kind of inspire me to do this when we actually had an episode where we didn't have NPDs waiting and we didn't have the coming soon waiting. So we've been sitting on this for a while. How about we go down our top 10 of the generation list for consoles?
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So yeah, don't be fooled by the music. It's not just a top 5, it's a top 10.
Yeah.
It's just I don't have any other countdown music. Or bumpers.
Yeah, and I mean, we used to do these all the time in the old days of the show. We hadn't done one in a long while, and...
What it used to be was a top 5.
Yeah. But we did top 10 because, like I said, IGN did this, but had some really glaring omissions from even
just a few
from you to even pick from. But so we've created our own lists here, and I think we should go down from 10 to go up. I should say from 10 to 1.
Hold on, I'm waffling one more time.
Well, while you waffle, I'm going to say my number 10. How's that?
Okay.
And put you on the clock. So
I'm just typing it right now, so once I'm finished typing it, I'm done.
All right. So my number 10 is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Wow, number 10?
Yep. I mean, the game that defined multiplayer and shooters for the generation, the game that led me to have all the online friends that I have now through the old, 360, the ragtags. So it's got a little sentimental value as well. I mean, the game that broke Xbox Live. The game is unplayable now online with all the hackers and everything. But the core of that game, that is the Mario 64, Morrowind, Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy, your Metroid, Super Metroid. That is the game that defined a generation for that type of game. So,
yeah, it literally redefined first-person shooting.
Yeah, much like
and
Halo did 6 years earlier.
Yeah,
this was the next generation of.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
2001.
It was the next generation leap for the multiplayer, for the multiplayer systems.
Yeah, which is crazy because it came out 2 months after Halo 3, and that was supposed to be the big thing. And And then Call of Duty came out, and literally Xbox Live broke that Christmas. And they gave out a free game because of it, for those that don't remember.
Well, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. But I just thought that game, I mean, the single player still holds up. The multiplayer does not because of the hacking. But it defined the genre.
It still holds up when you get into a lobby that isn't hacking.
Right. Yeah.
Because I played it well after the fact, and it's still so good. Everything just felt spot on. All the hit detection felt good. It felt smooth. It just ran really nicely.
But this is I think you'll find a trend in my future games on the list here. But that's my number 10. It's Call of Duty 4. So Steven, what is your number 10?
Oh, my number 10 is Burnout Paradise.
Yep.
So take me down to Paradise City, where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
I still have that sitting on my PS3, and I've barely played it.
Can you take me home? Oh, won't you take me home, Paradise City? Into that lovely, lovely, fun world that you created.
Great
and allowed
game.
me to crash into everything and be okay with it, because it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, except you took out the crash mode.
Okay, but to me, Burnout Paradise was the first Burnout game I ever played. And I love it so much.
Okay.
It's just unfortunate some of the multiplayer achievements were really, really dumb. And required an Xbox Live camera. Literally, it required a separate piece of hardware to get some of those achievements.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was really dumb about it. So that's probably why I docked it a couple points and put it at number 10.
Okay.
Still holds up today.
All right. Well, my number 9 is Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, I still haven't played it. Maybe I'd feel different about Dragon Age as a whole series. What? How do you not know that I haven't played it?
I know.
I never talked about it.
I know. You know the Ultimate Edition is $6 at GameStop on PC?
I own it for PC
Oh, yeah,
already.
that's right.
Don't worry.
That's right.
It's been on Steam sales constantly.
Yeah,
So don't worry, I've got it.
that's right. I keep forgetting. Because you haven't played the number 9 best game. Yeah, but I mean, there was one game that was, and it came out with Modern Warfare 2, and once the Modern Warfare 2 hype died, thankfully, I was able to see this game. I mean, I played it the following year, but I mean, the game is just so good. The strength mechanic is a little wonky, and that got fixed in the expansion Awakening and Dragon Age 2. But just the the story was so great. I love the fact that they took the time to have all the separate different origin stories feed into the core game. It was awesome playing through all 6 of those. I suffered through the dwarf one. I've never liked the art style of that dwarf area, but I got through it. It was cool playing all those different origins, all the different character options, the romances. Now, I will still argue that the core party overall in 2 is better than Origins, but the main 3 party members of Alistair, Liliana, and Morrigan, overall, just those 3 are better than the cast of Dragon Age 2, although I think the cast of 2 overall I like better than 1, but those 3 characters are awesome, and as long as you can build a party focusing on those 3 characters plus your warden, you will love that game. And even the interactions you have with everybody in camp, and oh my gosh, if I have to listen to the IGN girl fight, and oh man, I mean, there's so many girl gamers out there with a thing for Alistair. I mean, it's just crazy how much play that guy gets, but it's just an awesome game. The mechanics are great. I thought it played fine on a console. The controls were streamlined better, as I said, with Awakening and 2. Also, the strength systems worked better. Although PC people will argue that encumbrance was removed and strength became literally the same as health and magic, where you just drink the potion to refill it. But the encumbrance didn't come in to cut your max amount because of how heavy your armor was. So, I don't know. So some things were changed, but just the core gameplay and just you could just start that world and lose yourself in it, and all the different options with creating a character. So I love that game. That's why it's my number 9.
Alrighty. Ready for mine?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if you're going to be ready for this one. Number 9 for me, Assassin's Creed 2.
Okay.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I have Brotherhood ahead of 2, and Brotherhood just missing my top 10.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think, 2, Brotherhood.
It created a virtual world that was an amazing world to run around.
Yeah.
Especially on the rooftops.
Yep.
It was incredibly fun to climb all that architecture.
Yeah, without Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed is not a thing.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed 1 was a good idea and a very good starting point. But Assassin's Creed 2 took that idea and ran with it all the way to the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Creating the franchise that it is currently.
Yep, absolutely.
That's why it's number 9.
All right, well, my number 8 is Witcher 2. Sorry.
Also Ezio.
Yes, it's.
I mean,
damn. The character that was so good, they ended up making 3 games with him.
Yeah, and I think they even featured him briefly in a couple other ones or something.
Well, I mean, there's the.
They made a cameo or something.
There's the movie that takes. Well, there's the movie that if you bought the GameStop version of Revelations, there's the movie, the live-action movie, where I've still yet to watch it, sitting here on my computer. But you get to see Ezio's last mission after the events of Revelations. After he's retired, he gets pulled in for one more thing. So, yeah, that's like a 20-minute movie I haven't watched yet. But, I mean, he won Character of the Year from the VGAs. I mean, he's just such a good character. I mean, just nailed it. And they've struggled to match him since. Connor was a disaster. Edward Kenway was pretty good. We'll see how these new guys do, but Ezio was awesome.
Well, Edward was good because he was a pirate. And pirates always wind up being pretty damn good. I mean, just look at Jack Sparrow. I'm just going to let that one hang.
All right, so
anyway, back to you and Witcher.
Yeah, Witcher 2 is my number 8. Speaking of great characters, and boy, this game does not pull any punches. It earns its mature rating right out of the first scene, but just incredibly in-depth gameplay. And what's so awesome, one of the most awesome things, and I wrote about this in the review I did for the game, when the game forks and you go to the second chapter, there literally is a completely different quest line depending on which direction of the fork you go after chapter 1. And there are quests and people and stuff that you just will not see unless you play through the game and go the other way. And then the way the third chapter looks and the quest of the third chapter change depending on what your decision was. So there are whole areas of the game that you will never see or play if you only played this once. So in terms of Dragon Age will never do that, I don't think. I mean, we'll see with Inquisition, but EA would just be like, you're making quests and levels that half the players probably aren't going to see, you're crazy. And Witcher's like, that is how it works.
All in service to the story.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, and it's just a really challenging game, and rewarding. Most people, say that about Dark Souls, but I think Dark Souls is still a little too far into the difficult, at least for me. I think Witcher is the perfect balance of challenging and rewarding, and I just love the story and the characters. It's just such an awesome game. I can't wait for the new one, and I hope it deserves to blow up like Skyrim. Whether it will, I don't know, but such an awesome game. It's like $20 on 360. Go get it.
Yeah. All right. Back to me?
Yes, back to you.
All right, my number 8, and I don't know if you're ready for how low it is on my list. Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. I mean, that's a very good game. That's another awesome game that just missed my top 10. So that's probably...
Wow. Damn.
Mexico.
What the heck else is on your top 10?
We'll get there, but Mexico.
I mean, yes, it does drag a little bit there,
But yes.
but
The game is awesome.
that game and that story are just amazing.
Yeah.
Just... It makes a very believable world.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that it gives you complete free reign to do whatever you want is incredibly awesome.
It's one of the few Rockstar labeled games I really liked because you can be a good guy.
And also,
not be punished.
You don't have to drive a car.
Yep.
That handles like a goddamn boat.
Yep.
And can't turn at all when you want it to. So, yeah. That made a pretty big difference. Yeah, it's just a shame that I didn't enjoy the multiplayer that much.
It was fun when you had people to play with. It
was alright.
I still like the poker. That's still some of the best multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The poker, the minigames, all those minigames were so good except for Five Finger Fillet.
Yeah.
Because, god damn, that is a terrible minigame every time it's put into a game.
Yeah.
It was terrible in Rage. It was terrible in Red Dead Redemption. It will never be good.
Yep.
I don't know why they keep going back to it. But Horseshoes was fun.
Yep.
Poker was so good. Hell, you could even cheat at it if you were doing certain things.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty funny. Alright, so back to you.
Alright, my number 7, Borderlands 2.
Yeah, that's probably my number 11.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it just barely missed out. There's so many good games.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get into... I have PS3 exclusives that, probably... whereas you have some 360 exclusives, I guess, because I don't think... Yeah, I only have one 360 exclusive, well, at least console-wise. And I have 2 PS3 ones, so... Yeah, I mean, we've talked enough about Borderlands. I mean, it was our game of the year for 2012. As a show.
I don't think... I actually don't think I have any exclusives.
Okay. But anyway...
Well, not anymore. They were some of them were exclusive when they came out.
Yeah. Right, but Borderlands 2, super awesome. We've talked about it a lot. Just the...
So good, so funny, so many guns.
Yeah, and an actual story worth playing through, unlike the first one.
Yeah, which was kind of surprising.
Yeah. Alright, so you're number 7.
My number 7 is Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
Didn't quite crack the top 5.
Okay.
And you'll see why once we get to some of the other ones. But yeah, that game is so good. And then they went so wrong with this third one.
It's just the ending that they struggled for the ending. I wish that Drew, what's his name, hadn't gotten pulled away. to save the burning bridge, the kitchen fire that was the Old Republic, and was allowed to finish Mass Effect, I think things would have gone better.
Probably, but you never know. But yeah, it created so many wonderful, amazing characters to talk to and learn about.
That
So many things to read about for the backstory of how the engines worked.
right. That is the first game since the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies that I played through more than once. I played through Mass Effect 2 3 times on 2 different systems.
Yeah. Wait, because
360 twice and PS3 once.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did get it on PS3.
I rented it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking you bought it,
No,
but all right, yeah.
No, that was a rental.
All right. So yeah, there's my number 7.
All right. Well, that will come up on mine as well. But
I would hope.
Yep. But my number 6 is XCOM: Enemy Within.
Yeah, that doesn't make an appearance on mine, unfortunately.
I just love the gameplay of this strategy, RPG, just the, is that a high enough percentage? Do I risk it? Do I risk the shot? And I still want people to play multiplayer for this. I have Enemy Unknown as well. Like, I rebought Enemy Unknown.
For 360?
Yes. I have
all right,
both.
Well, that's... Alright, so that's the system I'll try and get to Unknown on. Or was it Enemy... Which one's the newer one? Within, right? Yeah, okay.
Within's the newer one. Which is why I put it over Unknown, because, I mean, it's the first campaign with more stuff.
Right, yeah.
And, so, I mean, that's essentially the complete edition of the game, so that's why I put it. But...
I mean, it's technically an expansion.
Yeah.
It adds a lot more to the original story.
Yeah. But in terms of the multiplayer, especially on console, you have one or the other. They're different games, different achievement lists. So
yeah,
I have both now. I mean, okay. XCOM, I have Enemy Unknown and Within on 360, and I have Enemy Unknown on PS3. Enemy Unknown was a PlayStation Plus game for a long time. And then I went to a Target and it was on clearance for $4. So I bought the disc because the $4 was worth 8 gigs of space on my PS3 hard drive.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're number 6.
Alright, my number 6, Batman Arkham Asylum. The game that said, hey, guess what? You can make awesome, really good comic book video games.
Yep, the Wombat game.
At least based on Batman.
Yes, the Wombat game. Wombat predicted this game before, from the Cadcast, before it was even announced. I forget which episode of the Cadcast it was, but...
It's just so much fun running around Arkham Asylum, trying to beat down the baddies and put them back in their cells.
Yeah, Asylum led to one of the worst episodes of the show ever.
Oh, God, I think you're talking about the one where we're arguing non-stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that episode so much.
Yeah,
now.
That's the one right before PAX 09.
Oh, that's such a terrible episode. It was a bad episode to be promoting on Totally Rad Show.
Well, we didn't mean to promote it on.
We didn't intend for that to happen, but it just happened by accident, and it was a really bad episode to start with.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. But that game's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, love it so much.
Yeah, I really like the Batman games. I mean, they were further out of my top 10 than something like Assassin's Creed or Red Dead, but they would be in my top 20.
I have a soft spot in my heart just because of the Batman animated series that I grew up on.
Well,
and then Batman Beyond, which I grew up on.
See, Beyond I didn't get to watch.
Oh, I would watch that every single Saturday.
Yeah, see, it wasn't on, when I was still watching Saturday morning stuff, it wasn't on.
Well, it was probably just before or just after you stopped watching.
Yeah.
Because I think it was mid-90s, I want to say. I'll go look it up later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just had a soft spot in my heart, and this game just pushed all the right buttons and was really good on top of that.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, so my number 5?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, it's a game Steven's going to laugh as soon as I say it, because I pleaded and pleaded for the third game to be brought to the United States in English. My number 5 is Valkyria Chronicles.
Should have seen this coming. Didn't even occur to me, but yeah, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah. So if you do end up with a PS3 instead of a PS4, that is the second game. Well, that is one of the 5 games on your list of, well, you have the 4 Naughty Dog games. You have Uncharted 1 through 3, Last of Us. You also have Valkyria Chronicles on your list.
Yeah. Yeah, and Uncharted 3. Or, not Uncharted, Last of Us.
Right. The 4 Naughty Dog games plus Valkyria Chronicles.
For some reason, I was thinking of the 4th Uncharted game when you said that instead. Which is like, oh yeah, that's right, that's not on PS3. And not going to be. So, yeah.
I mean, I've talked about Valkyria Chronicles enough. So awesome.
Yep.
So Sega let's just vomit it out in November alongside Call of Duty and Gears of War and Mirror's Edge and everything else. And game's awesome. If you have a PS3 and you like strategy at all, go get it.
Yep. All right.
All right. You're number 5.
Kicking off my top 5 with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yep.
It's so good. And I believe it's been discussed to death, so I don't really need to talk about it other than to say the single player was amazing.
Yep, it was.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
All right, my number 4 is another infamous game on this show, Tales of Vesperia.
Yeah, as soon as you were saying, that I should have predicted that these were on your list, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Tales has got to be on your list somewhere. Yeah.
So good. That game is just so awesome. And it's sad that it's locked on the 360 and American and European PS3 owners don't get the remastered or the complete edition with the extra character and the extra content that's Microsoft still has out on some type of super judo lockdown. I don't know, every other game, I mean, Microsoft themselves freaking published Mass Effect 1, and it's on 360, or PS3 now, but PS3 never got the...
My guess is Namco isn't fighting for it.
Yeah.
Like EA did.
Yeah. Alright, but I've talked about Tales enough. Such an awesome game. If you have a 360 and like JRPGs, get it, play it. Alright, you're number 4.
Barely missing out on my top 3. My number 4 is Super Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
The best Mario game of last generation.
Okay.
So good. Spawned an amazing sequel that was just as good. Hell, Mario Galaxy even had a story.
Yeah.
Which was pretty damn good.
And introduced a pretty interesting new character.
Yeah. Well, 2 actually. The stars with the faces actually bouncing around and doing stuff. The Lumas.
Right.
Or Luminas, or I think it was Luminas.
No, it's Lumas.
Lumas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
And
Rosalina as well.
Yeah. I almost forgot her name, but yes, I knew that was the one you were referring to, but yeah. And now she's a brand new big character who looks surprisingly similar to a Disney character that came out many years later. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
funny how that works.
Yep.
But yeah, if you've never played that masterpiece game from the Wii, check out Mario Galaxy. Well worth your time.
Okay, you know what else is well worth the time, and we can kind of save it because we already talked about it?
Hmm?
My number 3 is Mass Effect 2.
Yep. There you go.
All right. Your number 3.
My number 3, just barely missing out on the top 2. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Ah.
So good. And if it wasn't so buggy, I would have loved it even more. Probably enough to put it in 2 spot. Just creates an amazingly cool open world for you to run around and do whatever you want. Be as good as you want or as evil as you want. It's up to you.
Yep.
And you get to fight dragons.
And werewolves. And yetis. And bears. And vampires. And skeletons. And elves. And dwarven robots. And
so many enemies that are all really cool. Yeah. And some pretty cool NPCs too.
Yep.
Some great storytelling.
And combat that didn't suck. And a leveling system that didn't suck. Unlike the previous Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah. Hopefully those 2 things will be refined even further for a sequel eventually. Alright. Hit me with your number 2.
My number 2 is the new addition to the list that I had to quickly rewrite everything for, and it's The Last of Us.
Yeah, probably if I'd played it, I might have put it on the top 10 somewhere. But I don't know.
I mean,
yeah.
There's just everything about that game is perfect, and I mean, I only had it crash once, so I mean, it runs pretty smooth. And granted, I played it on the PS4, but it's technically a PS3 game. But I mean, just that is all of Naughty Dog's, all the work they did from Uncharted 1 into 2, into the kind of mess that was 3. Sorry, Greg Miller. 3 is still good, but they had to do some work with that. Just the growth of Uncharted, I mean, just mixed together, and they just nailed it with Last of Us.
Yeah.
All right, your number 2.
My number 2 should be pretty familiar to a lot of people, because it was created and conceived at first for the PC, and then made its way onto consoles, and became even bigger because of it. My number 2 is Minecraft.
Okay.
Such a damn fun game that you can do whatever you need to or want to do. And I really don't need to say much else.
Yeah. All right, so my number 1 then?
Mm-hmm.
My number 1 is Skyrim.
Yep, there you go.
Probably figured that out.
I mean, it had to be on your list somewhere, because
Yeah.
that game is just so good.
Yeah. And of course, this is with the caveat that PS3 only owner, sorry, it sucks on there.
Yeah.
It's better than it was, but still kind of sucky. But even on 360, it was awesome. Now, only if my character wasn't glitched, and as long as she was a vampire, my shield wasn't invisible. That never got fixed.
Oh, jeez.
I like being a vampire.
Yeah.
I don't want to have an invisible shield. Is there anything wrong? Is there something so wrong with that?
Probably not. Not really.
All right.
That's just funny.
Yeah. All right. You're number 1.
My number 1 was a game that started again on PC, came to consoles, and was still just so good. Portal. The original Portal.
Yep.
The puzzle game that all physics-based puzzle games are now judged upon.
Yep.
The game that made cake a funny joke. And then everyone else around the internet who decided, let's overuse it to the point where Portal 2 just said, nope, we ain't got no cake. Creating a character that is iconic in GLaDOS and the companion cube. even though it is an inanimate object that has no voice or face or use other than putting on a switch to hold it open. And the turrets that would talk to you and taunt you and get sad whenever you walked out of their range of fire. Just an amazing game from start to finish. And a game you can enjoy in just one sitting. So good. So there you go. The top 10 games of the generation according to us.
Console.
Of the console generation.
Yeah, because handheld gets really weird, because where do you differentiate between PSP and Vita and DS and 3DS and...
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, I would say whenever the 3DS games were exclusive, or whenever the PSP games were now Vita game exclusives.
Well, yeah. Maybe some other time we'll worry about those.
Yeah, maybe. But that's a much tougher list because there's so many games I don't remember. It was a little easier because there was a pre-made list for this. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, these. It's like, oh yeah, why didn't they put this on this list? Boop.
Yeah. Vesperia IGN's not on there, but you put 2 Human as an option. Or Valkyrie Chronicles was on there.
That was a weird addition to Human. That game is nobody's game of the generation.
Yeah. Well...
Even if you enjoyed that game, it is not a game of the generation.
Right. Well, let's not give it any more time, and I think our connection is dying out a little bit here.
Well, I'm also really trying not to get too loud because it is late.
Yeah. All right. Well,
all right, so I guess that's gonna do it for the episode. Don't forget to like, favorite, or subscribe to the show through iTunes, the Xbox Marketplace, or on PC if you're using iTunes. No, wait, no, I already said iTunes. Or if you're on Facebook, give us a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at Checkmate Arcade. If you want to follow me specifically and my sporadic, getting a little more common tweets, it's at Dark Bossman.
Yeah, and I'm at MSU Hitman. We also it's Stitcher Radio is the app.
Yes, if you're on the go and you want to listen to it on your smartphone, the Stitcher Radio application will get you going on the show.
And a shout out to the Continental Gamer on Twitter who sent a message thanking us for the show and showing that he or she had bought a Murray State Racers hat in honor of me. So thank you. That is awesome. That made my day that day.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely big thank you for that one.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's going to do it for the episode, where I have been the master duelist, defeating all who stood before me, even the one who shall not be named. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And you're giving me, like, the itchy fingers to go rip open that Yu-Gi-Oh! DVD right now and go watch it, like, right now. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
Alright, well, I'll let you get going to do it, because maybe we'll see you on live, PSN, or maybe even on the net.
Peace out, everybody.